So that didn't go as smooth as I had expected or wanted, but the two main logs are under there, and the chain's going through the Connex box, the logs, the pipe, and we're going to attach that to the backhoe, have a backhoe in front and a backhoe in back, and see if we can push this about a half mile down the street, down our dirt road, to my neighbor's property. Neighbor wants it, I don't want it out of here, and we're hoping this idea works. But not today, because today the sun is going down. We only have about another hour, maybe hour and a half of sunlight, and if something goes wrong, I don't want to be out in the dark, especially if it starts to rain. So we're going to wait till tomorrow morning, I believe, maybe the next morning. But we'll get this thing chained up in front to a backhoe, have a backhoe, probably my backhoe back here pushing, my neighbor's backhoe up front pulling, and we'll get this thing pulled down to my neighbor's house. That's one Connex box out of here. Took a little bit of ingenuity and a whole lot of just believing it was gonna happen. It took 20 minutes, I think, to get this Connex box up to the road, which isn't very far. I mean, you're talking 70, maybe 80 feet from the front of the Connex box to the road. Man, it just kept digging into that dirt and didn't want to give it up. Didn't want to go. Made some pretty good ruts going up my driveway. Got a chance to bring the tractor. I was coming back home. I brought the tractor and just smoothed everything out again. Made it look fairly decent. But yeah, that was a chore. 20 minutes to go from here to there. Almost given up a few times. Once we got it on the driveway, we knew we couldn't give up. But once we got it up on the rock, it seemed to work a little bit better. And then when we got it up on the road, that hard packed gravel up there, man, 20 minutes from this point to the road and 10 minutes to take it half mile down the street. Just didn't take any time at all. My tractor's geared a little bit lower than my neighbor's, and I was having a hard time kind of keeping up. He was pulling it pretty much by himself. I was right there, but I wasn't putting much pressure on it. Those logs worked out pretty good. Worked out a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be more resistance to it and have to push it a little bit harder than we were. So we've got that out of there and done. And well, cleaned up a little bit. Trying to keep the place clean. Was a little interesting getting in his driveway. Got in his driveway and going around through them trees and pushing up where he wanted it, but it all worked out. Worked out pretty slick. Not too many problems. The log stayed right under there, even though those cross supports that I'd screwed in, and I put a couple half-inch lag bolts that are left over from the shop build. They were, what, 10 inches long, half inches thick, but they just kind of ripped out of the pine when we were sliding that whole thing up underneath the Connex box to set it down on top of it. The logs were rolling a little bit, and it just ripped those big lag bolts right out of there. So didn't have a whole lot to keep the logs directly underneath that Connex box, but it seemed to just stay underneath there just fine the way it was. So hang out, guys. I'm gonna get back in this shop build, get some more of these trusses tilted up as soon as Mother Nature clears up the weather a little bit for us. I don't feel like getting up on the ladders and the scaffolding with it raining and muddy feet. Doesn't add up to a safe job right there. So we'll get that going again in a later video. I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, guys, go make something.